to another episode of the Top Cinco Pod. We have a returning guest. We have the journeyman, if you guys remember Journeyman Stevens. He is back on again, and we're literally getting into it from the Man United Tottenham game that's just taken place. So fresh, raw emotions and everything like that. Before we dive straight in, don't forget to make sure that you like, follow, share and subscribe. And that's at Top Cinco Pod, and we are on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram as well. Thank you very much. So the game finished 1-0. What were your thoughts on the game? It was a bit of a snooze fest, if I'm being honest. I thought. What were you thinking?
Yeah, mad one. Not gonna lie. First and foremost, thank you for having me. The hospitality has been absolutely amazing. Bit of wing stopping, a few drinks and that. Watching the.
Big up the wing stop, by the way.
Big up. Just watching the United Spurs game. What are my first thoughts coming up of it? I'll be honest with you. We were watching the game, weren't we? And it's just it's a game of just missed chances, wasn't it? I think Anana again. You've got to be doing better with that.
Yeah, the parry out was.
He's just parried it.
Obviously, he has saved it. I get that, but the parry was poor. It should have been stronger, away from the goal.
Yeah, 100%.
But then you've got the centre backs that ain't really reacting either.
That's it. Yeah, we both said, didn't we? We were looking at Ligt, and I think it was Doucoure, wasn't it? And we were like
both on their toes, just like.
And they were just looking at each other, going, "Well, no." And we both played the game, innit? And when you watch a game, and it's just one of them where you're just like. People just looking at each other, just it's like, well, why didn't you react? Well, why didn't you react? Yeah. It's like, well, just one of you just take like ownership, take accountability. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, mate. Like, I don't know, like missed chances. You could say that, but it just, do you know what it looked like? And I watched the Leicester game in the FA Cup last week. It just looked like two really poor teams, mate. Like, just two really bad, poor teams, and it's just hard to watch, mate, at the moment. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, there were both teams had 6 shots on target. If we're looking at the stats, 6 shots. No, actually no. Tottenham had 7 shots on target. United had 6 on target. Possession 57-44 in Tottenham's way.
It didn't look like that.
It didn't look like that when we were watching the game though. It was very droll. But you know what? Ange got the win at home as well. He needed it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Premier League table was still looking very interesting for Man United. They're 15th. West Ham are below them. Wolves are below them. Ipswich are below them. Leicester are below them. And Southampton are below them.
Don't say it.
Those teams are... teams that are below them, they are really, really poor. Tottenham have climbed up to 12th with that win. So it's a good win for Tottenham. The other game that we saw was Liverpool Wolves. Salah getting on the score sheet again.
Thanks, man.
He just
fantasy teams. You know about that.
Yeah,
we're in a league, aren't we? And whoever between the two of us, whoever finishes top, the other one has to take them out for a bit of dining, whining and dining and that. And I know last year you took me out for a nice little meal and that. And I feel looking at the league table again, my friend.
Listen, I've still got a couple of cards to play.
Yeah,
so,
I heard that. I'm not going to play my trumpet too much.
Yeah, because he might come bite you in the ass. But I need to pull out the bag. That'll be real.
Definitely. But I think.
But Salah, pulling up. Diaz and then Cunha getting on the score sheet as well. He scored his 4th game in a row. But Liverpool, they didn't. Again, it wasn't too convincing.
No, but that's Liverpool all season, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like every single game they play, they just managed to get the dub, don't they? Like, and I've just been waiting, praying, being a Man United fan, praying all year. That just something they'll go on a little run where something that go for them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it just don't seem to happen, mate. Like I even watched the Everton game midweek, and you just think, oh, that might be a game where something that just don't go right, and then you
glad you brought that up.
The last minute goal and stuff like that. Like
what a finish, by the way, by Tarkowski.
Oh mate, absolute pingers,
absolute screamer. Absolute screamer.
Absolute.
It's like, what are you even doing up there, by the way?
Do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that Jagielka goal from a couple of years back
at
Anfield?
Oh my God, yeah.
Absolute
screamer as well,
mate.
but he's absolutely smashed that.
Literally.
Caught that so clean.
But do you know what? You know that as well as I do. You know when you play the game, there is nothing better than, when you just hit one flush just on a half volley like that, or even on a volley. When you just hit them ones, and it just hits your foot. You don't even have to look up, do you? You just know that's just straight absolute scenes, mate. So yeah, fair play to him, man.
But like we were saying, so on the Merseyside derby, I wanted to talk about I called it the Merseyside melee because it was a bit mad afterwards. The
Yeah, it's
scenes and
crazy.
stuff. So obviously, Doucoure decided to celebrate in front of the Liverpool fans, which I slightly rate
I'm
him
not
for.
mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it either. It's part of like the whole derby atmosphere and what what it's all about. What we're not with is obviously the racism and stuff afterwards. I mean, it's poor again. It still shouldn't be happening, but it happened, and then you've got
the Hannibal Major, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. So another racist incident.
Allegedly, we don't know if it.
Yeah, so we're not too sure yet. But that's what's been said. So we'll have to see on that. But the Merseyside melee, let's go back to that because that was a crazy game anyway.
Yeah, but do you not think like man's like?
Oh, go on.
Do you not think like that was amazing? Like I've been waiting and wanting like like these what everyone like sees as like those derbies where it's just tackles, it's the crowds up and stuff like that. Like
the atmosphere was crazy. It was real good.
Like for me, like I went to the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, and it just didn't have that vibe. I saw the City game and just didn't have that vibe. And I've seen the North London derbies and stuff like that, and even like the Glasgow derbies with Celtic and Rangers. Like they don't for some reason they're not letting the fans. I don't know why it is, but I just get a sense of like like the derby vibe, where you're just buzzing to watch it because of just tackles.
I tell you what derby we've got
controversy and stuff like that, like
Millwall Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. I wonder what
South
that's going to be
London
like.
vibes and all that. Like, it's gonna be mad, man.
That should be good. That hopefully that will be televised as well.
Hopefully, But back to my point, like I don't see it anymore. And I was literally talking to like a guy that I work with, and he's a big Southampton fan. And he talks about like them and Pompey and all that lot. And I was literally saying to him on was it Thursday during the day, because it was a Thursday night game. And I was like, do you know what? He was asking me about the game, and I was like, do you know what? I don't care about the result. Obviously, I'd love Everton to get a result. And the way that Moyes has been performing with the team, and we see it against Palace yesterday. Like they've been on been on the up. I was like, do you know what? Like sod all that. Like I just want to see a proper derby, mate. You know, where it's just tackles, controversy, like I just said a minute ago, just like old school derby. And we both laughed about it because we were like, just don't get that in the game anymore. But thankfully, thank the football gods.
I thought it was a good day. It was
so good.
It felt like a proper derby.
Yeah,
it was.
I watched it and I was just like, that's what you want.
Last game of Goodison as well. They both finished with the same amount of wins. I think so.
Yeah, and do you know what made me laugh? I was listening to TalkSport after the game, and Tony Bellew, the boxer, big Everton fan.
He was buzzing, wasn't he?
He come on TalkSport like that night, gassed. And he started calling Arnie Slot. You remember that guy that used to be like the guy that used to? Do you remember? I can't remember the program. I think it was like Crystal Maze. Remember like the bald-headed guy that used to do Crystal Maze?
Crystal Maze.
He started calling Arnie Slot the guy from Crystal Maze. It was busting up. It was so funny. I was like, that's what you want, innit? It's that like that rivalry, like that like shit talking and stuff like that.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
It was sick, but no, I enjoyed it. It was good.
It was a very
good game of football as well. Yeah. Like, and fair play to both of them. Like, they both went at it from the jump. Like, I see like Beto was just like bumping into Virgil and all them out. I was like, yeah, you do your thing, man. Like,
and he scored as well. So he's
been on a run though, hasn't he?
He's just on a nice little run. It's good to see because he was struggling under Dyche, and then Moyes comes in and he's like a new striker, like
it's
the
not
striker
just
that
him,
they
though,
probably thought that they were going to get.
There's been a few of them. I'm looking at James Garner, who they bought from us. He was at United as a kid, and everyone was saying about James Garner being like, oh, he's going to be the next Michael Carrick. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, next Michael Carrick, I'm not sure, but now I'm starting to see it, and I'm looking at United now. I'm like, oh, I'd love for someone like him to be in the middle of Park United after just seeing that dribble that we've just watched over there.
It is, mate. But
it's what it is, man.
It's a long time. You're a long time away from being back. No. Let's talk about Arsenal's injury. Well, it's not Arsenal's injury crisis, but there's injuries all over the board. But obviously, Arsenal went away to Dubai, thought it was going to be a nice little trip, to recharge the batteries and all that. And Kai Havertz ends up coming away with having to have hamstring surgery.
That's a bad one as well.
Yeah, he's not going to play again. He's aiming for the start of next season.
It's a bad one. It's a bad one.
That's two hammies. Like him, Saka, both surgeries. Fofana at Chelsea, hamstring as well, but didn't want surgery. So that's interesting. I don't know whether all three are the same or would have been the same kind of grade tear or whatever. But that's interesting that he didn't want that. but hamstring injuries are just everywhere at the moment.
I don't. Do you know what, Mans? Like, I don't
it's-
think it's just like hamstring injuries. I just think, in general, if you look across like everyone, not even like the
Well,
top
Tottenham
six.
have got 2 hammies as
Yeah,
well.
it's
You
not
got
even the top six,
Van der
mate.
Ven,
Like,
Udogie.
it's like everyone in the Prem, mate. Like, everyone's struggling with these kind of like niggly injuries. We've just seen it with United with like Ahmad. I know like Kobe Mano apparently struggling. Agate as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is definitely like someone needs to look into kind of. It's not just like a coincidence, shall I say, that everyone's just getting mad injuries this year. And then on the back of that, we spoke last time I was on here about like the Club World Cup in the summer and stuff like that. And we mentioned it.
That's Chelsea and City's problem.
But this is what I'm saying. It's just like the amount of games that are being played and stuff like that. Like, but you have to ask the question. Going back to Arteta, like I've been there before. I played in teams where I wouldn't say as extravagant as going off to Dubai mid-season breaks. Like I was never on that level. But we would go away and do like those kind of mid-season breaks. Don't get me wrong. But you have to ask the question. It's like, why? How are you ripping up? And apparently that's like it's a bad hamstring injury, like off the bone.
He said that he blocked a shot. What kind of shot are you blocking to be?
I'll be honest with you, bro. Like I've watched Havertz many of a year, and I've never seen him block a shot. So why my man's even in a training session blocking a shot? I got no idea, but that's wild to me. But
yes, exactly. It's just.
But back to your point about like going away and like the amount of injuries and stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, like you think like Arteta, like they're doing the right thing, and they're taking him away. They're taking him as a team away to Dubai. Warm weather training, we all know, get some sun and stuff like that. It's good, like vitamin D and stuff like that. And then you hear like even then people are getting it, and like don't get me wrong, like I know people that have been out to Dubai. I've not been that lucky enough to go out there and train, but like I know people that have gone out there and trained, and apparently the facilities are mad. So it's not like one of those where like you can blame the facilities and stuff like that. It's just crazy. It's just bad luck. And like I said, we've had injuries this week with the 3 that I mentioned earlier, and it don't matter where you go and train, bro. Like I just generally think there is something that needs to be looked at in terms of like that break, so to speak. You're out of the FA Cup and you're still picking up injuries. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
it should be where you're recharging your batteries.
Yeah.
It should be where you're recharging your
Crazy.
batteries. So
it's crazy.
It's a little bit annoying. And now there's no cover. I'm talking about, you're looking at free agents.
This is the question I was going to ask you, Imani. Like, excuse me. So
realistically, there's no.
The question I was going to ask you is like, now we know what's happened this week, and look, let's be real. Like, you can't tempt fate, and you can't predict what's going to happen in the future. But you as an Arsenal fan, like the decision not to sign someone up front. What's your thoughts about that? I know I'm flipping the script. I'm the guest in that, but I want to ask you this.
No, that's cool. I think Arsenal didn't want to panic buy because they've done panic buys before and they haven't worked out. So that 100% makes sense. Secondly, I feel like they probably have a plan in summer. There's got to be a striker that's coming in. I don't know who it is. I've got a feeling it's going to be Sesko. Not really my personal choice. Everyone talks about Isak, but realistically, Newcastle are trying to, be a top Premier League team these days as well. They're not going to just sell their top striker to Arsenal. Is he going to want to come as well?
Yeah.
So, and it's also going to be very, very expensive, I would imagine. So, I think Sesko apparently, we've been tracking him for a long time.
Good player, mate. Good player.
I just think that whenever I've seen him, he's been missing a bit. So I just don't know what he's going to be like with us.
My question to you is like, I hear that like, because we're in the same situation. Oh, we're just gonna like kick it down the road to the summer and stuff like that. But it's okay for us because, like you said, we're like not even mid-table, bro. But like for Arsenal, like
it's the missing piece in the jigsaw.
Like,
that's what everyone says.
The question is, would you like to sign someone? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying
not just for the sake of it though. I'd rather it would have been like a proper signing, like.
But even just someone in on loan for 6 months, like to the end of the season, just as a number.
If we're talking about just a striker, then yes, that would have made made sense to do that. To have someone there as a backup. But if they looked and there was no options, then fair enough. I actually looked on Transfermarkt the other day because you can just look at free agents and stuff as well. Diego Costa's a free agent. You probably wouldn't.
Can you imagine him at Arsenal?
Can you imagine him at Arsenal? You got Carlos Vela. He's a free agent.
When he at you back in the day as well.
Bring him back home.
Run him back,
Just run him back for 6 months. Just come and play, bro. Like
no, but this is what I'm saying. It's like
on the right side,
it's like just plugging that gap for 6 months. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I want to ask you the question because it's just one of them. Like I know, like if I was in that position, like Villa are like the perfect example. Like they've just got bodies in, numbers in, because they know they've got multiple league games. They've got Champions League and
Trying
stuff
the
like
Champions,
that. Like
he obviously wants to try and do something in Europe as well with
I
the
rate
quality,
that though.
with the quality that he's brought in. I don't know. I'm not sure if Asensio will be able to. He must be able to play in the Champions League. Even though he played for PSG.
Well, this is. Do you remember the
Because
conversation we was having the other day? Because they brought in Asensio, they brought in Rashid
Rashford.
and all that lot. Like your guy is at Marlon.
Yeah, Donnelly and Marlon, he didn't get registered.
Like didn't even get registered. In
so it must be because Rashford and Asensio came in. So they're good.
I don't know who his agent is, boy, but that stinks.
And, yeah, so we'll see what
stinks,
happens.
Man.
See what happens with that. Talking of Champions League and that, we've got obviously the next fixtures on Tuesday, Wednesday. Celtic against Bayern Munich, mate. Bayern Munich are 2-1 up. I watched that game. I watched bits of the game, and I watched Bayern Munich against Leverkusen the other day, and Leverkusen were all over them. So the only thing I fear for with Celtic now is that they've already played at home. They're going to Bayern Munich's place. So I think Celtic will get beat. I'm not sure if I don't see them getting smashed, but
I'll be honest with you, they'll get beat. But they're a problem at home. They've been a problem at home.
They didn't make the most
from years ago, man. I remember we went there and I think we got beat by Makimura or something like that, just being in the top bins, like free kick. They've been a problem at home, and you watch their home games.
It's electric now.
It's a joke, isn't it? And I was watching that game like you, and I just thought they had moments. And I think I'll be honest with you, last 25 minutes of that game. Once they went 2-0 down, there was only one team that was going to score, and then they got one, I thought. And even right at the end, they could have made it 2-2, and I just thought, do you know what? If you would have made that 2-2, I think, again, you'd be struggling. But I think that's the difference with Celtic now with this new format. I have seen them go abroad. That's always been a problem, isn't it? They can beat anyone at home, get a result at home, but they can't really do it abroad. But it's a big ask, mate. But I'll go back to that game individually, Michael Elise.
He's quality, man.
Naughty, isn't he?
Just
a naughty player, and obviously us both being from Reading, we've seen him on the glow up and stuff like that. Just a tidy football player.
Yeah.
Just silky with it, and both being left-footed. We appreciate left-footers, and it's just
100%. And he's on the European stage, and he's doing that now, and he's still lighting it up. So it's sick to see.
Yeah, it was decent.
But he's decent. The other games, I got AC Milan against Feyenoord. Obviously, Feyenoord. Well, it's good. They're back at the San Siro for the second leg. They're 1-0 down AC Milan, but I see them.
They'll get the job done.
They should get the job done.
Yeah.
I actually tried to watch them yesterday. It was a bit boring. They ended up winning 1-0, but it was a bit boring.
That's Serie A for you, though, man. It's just ticky-tacky, technical.
Live.
And do you know what it is as well? I watch a lot of Italian football because even though I absolutely despise the guy when he was United, not as like a mad thing or anything like that, but Scott McTominay, people see him on Twitter, used to gun him all the time.
All the time, yeah, you did.
You know that. But he looks like a player. But I watched Serie A football, and it's just been, it's not changed.
He's found his level.
But this is the thing, it's not changed since when I used to watch it when I was a kid. It's just so tactical. It's just mad. And if you're a half decent player, you look so good in that league. And you just think
it just goes to show how hard the Premier League actually is.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it, haven't we? We don't want to go back to Man United, but you look at someone was busting jokes with me earlier about Anthony going to Real Betis and looking like bloody Messi.
Looking half decent.
It's a joke, but going back to Serie A and AC Milan in particular, I think they get the job done. Obviously, they've made some good signings in the January transfer window with Kyle Walker going over there. They've got a good, and do you know what? I like watching them.
They've got Pulisic there. They've got Ruben
They've got a good, strong, English contingency. Yeah, so I end up watching quite a lot of their games because you always got a rep for your country. Reinders decent, Dutch guy. Yeah, they look good in the summer as well.
Kyle
he's a good player, man.
But they got a good little team.
Yeah, they'll get the job done. 100%.
Benfica were 1-0 up against Monaco. The reason why I want to mention that is because Monaco have got a former Arsenal striker, Baref, who has scored his second.
Who? Baref?
Baref, yeah, he signed his.
Was it some young kid at Arsenal and then
signed his second hat trick or scored his second hat trick? Sorry.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, he's done it again. Today he's really.
I always used to think that anyone that was half decent as a kid at Arsenal, they'd sign at Man United, but obviously we've missed out on this one, so it's fine. So it's cool.
He's enjoying himself there, mate, in the French league. Another hat trick and
fair play.
Getting the goals in. Well, Arsenal don't have a striker, but good to see.
Yeah.
Champions League will be interesting. Another game that we should probably mention as well next week is Villa against Liverpool.
Yeah, big game.
I wonder how that's going to go because that's another big game.
Is it at Villa?
It's
or is
at
it
Villa's place as well.
Yeah.
At Villa's place. 7:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
Boy.
What do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, it's the Villa won't. I don't think Villa are going to make it easy for him.
No.
Villa obviously at home as well.
No, not one bit.
Liverpool haven't looked very, very convincing, I would say.
But
in the last few games
they haven't
I've
been
seen,
looking convincing for a minute. Like,
so if Villa stick it on them, hungry Marcus Rashford wants to prove a point.
he looks good as well.
Bailly, Asensio, Watkins up top now. He's not sharing that role with John Duran anymore. I don't know how fit he actually is as well because I know he was carrying Ollie Watkins coming into the start season, so I'm not sure how fit he fully is. But
I can see. Man, I'll be honest with you.
Cause problems.
I can see Marcus just popping up with a goal. Just the whole United Liverpool thing.
And the connection.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, isn't it? But I'll be honest with you. Like, I watched the bits of the Villa Ipswich game, and obviously, like, my fiance's old man is a mad Ipswich fan, as you know.
Yeah.
But I even said to him this morning, I was like, I don't know how you drew that game because it was wild. Their goalkeepers pulled off worldie after worldie after worldie.
Yeah.
One of those games, and I need to mention that game. I need to apologise to my boys that I used to go to school with because we do an accumulator every week. And we have to just pick one result, yeah. And there's 9 of us.
You picked.
I picked Villa, Ipswich, every other
as your
result
banker.
come in. Oh man,
Picked as your banker.
£450 down the drain. So boys, apologise for that, but
yeah, well done, mate.
But no, going back to the Villa Liverpool game, if anyone's going to get a result against Liverpool, the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, like I said, you can't hate on them too much because they're getting results, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to win leagues, you need to get results. But if anyone can do something, Villa Park, get everyone behind them, and I just pray. Like I was saying to you earlier, I don't want to watch Liverpool win the league.
Yeah.
I don't want them to catch us. And I was saying to you earlier, I was like, if you can just do us a favour and just give them a run for their money, just be in that title race. Because I've been watching Liverpool.
Yeah.
They'll flop, guarantee it. But you need someone to push them. And unfortunately, with City the way they're doing, it's either going to be you or Forest, mate. So you need to step up. So.
And then obviously on the same night, Real Madrid against City, the return leg. 3-2 to Madrid. It's going to be at Madrid. So,
what did you think of the first leg?
First leg was very, very interesting.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
Very interesting. Proper good
they're
game.
A problem.
Like that last 20 minutes was just just very.
Do you know what? There's one passage of play I watched with Vinny Jr. and he's got the ball on a half, like on the back foot.
Yeah.
Megs with one foot outside the other foot, straight in to Mbappe. He didn't score from it. I was just like, they just create moments, don't they?
Yeah.
They're just little sprinkles of just magic.
When they're on the counter attack, you're just like, all right, so it goes to whoever goes, if it's left or right, you're just like, oh, something's gonna happen here. You're just waiting to see.
Good,
it's all about the decision making, and how crucial that is, and it's just exciting to see.
Who do you reckon will win the Champions League?
So much flair, bro.
Right, be real. Don't be with take your Arsenal hat off. Unless you want to say it with chest.
You know what? I can't say us.
Arsenal,
I can't say us. I would like to think that we could do a little, go on a little run. I don't see us winning it personally. It would be amazing.
That's a good statement.
But I think it's just going to be someone like Madrid again because it's just until,
do you know what it is?
Until I see another team that's convincing enough to show me that they can hold it down at the back and then penetrate at the front.
Pause.
Yeah, pause for that. That just sounded very wild. But if they can do that, then they win this Champions League.
Do you know what it is for me?
Against Madrid, in a one-off game, you can maybe catch Madrid, but 2 legs, it's tough.
Yeah.
Bro.
Do you know what it is for me? Likes of Madrid, Liverpool, another one. They're just a club that no matter what they do away from home, you take them back to your own yard, they're just finishing the job.
Yeah,
they're just on job. Like Liverpool are crazy at it. Madrid are another team. Like they're one of these teams that you play and you're like, we need to be beating them first leg. Otherwise, if we're taking them back to their own yard, you're just not getting through. Yeah. I remember that City game a couple of years ago where they're ahead with 2 minutes to go and they get beat. Liverpool, they've done it countless amount of times over the year. Yeah. It's just something about these big top European clubs.
Exactly.
Along with Man United, but they're not in it, so I can't say it. You're
as Merino says, heritage.
And it's just wild. And that's why, for me, like, it's going to be... I generally think it's going to be one of like your Bayerns. It's going to be your Real Madrids that's going to win.
The only thing with Bayern is I saw them against Leverkusen, and Leverkusen, for me, peppered them yesterday.
Yeah, but
Leverkusen should have finished that game, but Bayern just looked. I mean, obviously they kept a clean sheet, but then Leverkusen hit the crossbar twice.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like anyone else in
but
the
it's a
Champions
Celtic
League,
game as well.
Celtic
had moments.
Like
Madrid, not Madrid. Sorry, like Bayern Munich. They're clinical. I'll go back to it. That Celtic game, they didn't look like the better team. You could probably, if you would have gone back with like a draw, you wouldn't have been mad at it. But it's just clinical, mate. Real Madrid, another team, just clinical. In that competition, they just seem to know how to get over the line.
Madrid seem the most clinical right now.
Yeah, and like I said, and you look at that front four, like
it's frightening.
It's just so good to watch.
Yeah,
like as long as your team's not involved, it's just amazing.
It's frightening. So let's end it off with this week on the bum of the week in terms of manager. I said it's newly introduced. It's your first time.
Yeah.
So let's see and discuss who your bum of the week manager is going to be.
I don't know. I want to call out my managers, my Sunday League team, because they dropped me today and we got beat 2-1. So shout out to Jay in Fuller for dropping me. So, but I'm not mad, as you can tell, about that. I'm not bitter at all one bit. But but apart from them guys, do you know what it is? You probably won't agree with me, but Arnie Slot, you don't have to do that after the game. Okay. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get sent off because
emotional.
You're way, for me. You're way far ahead in the Prem. Just chill.
Yeah.
You got to draw. You ain't gonna be beat. Like, don't react. Just stay calm.
Who's the rice guy on TikTok? He's like emotional damage.
Yeah.
That was real.
But that's it, isn't it? It's like just don't be that guy. Like just be calm with it. Like don't show any. You're in such a good position. Don't show any like inkling of weakness because everyone will jump on it. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden the pressure builds because they're jumping on it. And like even today they scrape past walls. I'm just thinking, don't need to be that guy, Arnie. Just chill. Don't say anything to the ref. He's there grabbing his arm, trying to be. It's like, look, I know why you're trying to do it because you're trying to act like you're in the game. You're emotional. You want to seem to your fans. You're doing that, but just don't do it.
Okay.
You're in front in the league. Yeah. Don't be doing it. Chill.
But he got the draw.
That's what I mean. He got the draw. So why are you being like that for?
Today he got the win. But he's still. So he got 4 points in his last 2 games. But he's still your bum of the week manager.
Yeah.
Because of the way.
And that's
reacted.
not because I'm a Man United fan. I'm just saying. No. Okay. I'm just saying principle. Like if that's my manager, Curtis Jones, I rate it. Guy from Liverpool. Doucoure is going off doing a mad thing in front of the fans and that. And I know like stuff happened after that. I don't want to comment on it. Like. It is what it is. Like I'm hoping that the FA will deal with that when they will with what happened after that. But if you just look at that incident in context, like I rate like Curtis Jones going over. Like why are you saying that in front of my fans? But as a manager, you're new to the league. Just don't get involved. Don't get involved. Say what you need to do and say in front of the press. Be easy, chill. Because he's been doing that all year, Imani. And it's just like just be consistent with it. But then he's there grabbing the ref and all that lot. And I'm just thinking. Don't give anyone like this is it. When you're top of the league, don't give anyone a reason to come at you. Don't invite unnecessary pressure. And I think with that's what he's done. Granted, I know he got the dub today. That's cool. Got a big game against Villa midweek, and then all the games start coming. Don't give anyone a reason to spoil your flow. Keep doing your thing. And as a Man United fan, that kills me to say it, but that's why for me he's bum of the week.
I hear it all. Thank you very much. My bum of the week is going to have to be Enzo Maresca. I nearly gave it to him last week, but what did I? Do you know what? Can't even remember now.
You said Ange, didn't you?
Yeah,
I watched it. You said Ange,
right, yeah. But I mentioned. You're right. I mentioned.
Yeah, you said Ange.
This week he has to take the crown. I'm sorry, Enzo, but it's you're out of the FA Cup to Brighton. You thought you would put it right, even though it was away.
The two in a week, isn't it?
2 in a week, and you went and lost 3-0 there. Didn't register a shot on target, I don't believe. I know you don't have a striker. You tried something new, didn't work. You've conceded 5 goals in 2 games, scored 1.
Can I just say something now you're mentioning the Chelsea game? Because you see my tweet midweek.
Yeah, let me hear it.
And I need to just express it out because it's been on me all week and I've been.
I got a feeling it's something to do with freedom.
Oh mate, Jadon Sancho, mate. I'm looking down the camera now. What a bum! Like you're getting paid from us, yeah. You've commented on Rashford's like, and you're giving it freedom. I'm just like, bro, relax, chill. Like, we could not. It's like I said to you, it was like Black Friday sale. We could not give this guy to anyone. Yeah. We had to give him to Chelsea for 25 mil, and they would pay that, providing they finished above like 14th. And now I'm seeing Chelsea fans going, "No, we don't want to give him back." It's like, just read the room. If you're doing your thing, and you're like doing your thing, and doing bits and that, doing your thing, doing the bits. Even then, like, just remember, you've got in trouble before because of what you're doing on social media. Just allow it. Just stay quiet. And I just think we're paying like half your wages, and you're still like trying to like rub mud in the dirt with that. I just think you're an idiot. Just chill.
I don't know.
Like, let's be real.
Games now haven't been great.
This is what I'm saying. Like, is he? This is my point. If you're producing week after week and you got a bit of kahunas behind you, we're talking about top cinco and stuff like that. We'll bring in kahunas. We get the Spanish. You know what I mean? But if you're doing that, even then, like, just don't give people a reason to fuck with you, mate. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and I just think
he went and wrote that, and then he wrote that.
It rattled me, mate. I had to tweet him back, and you see it, and you were laughing. I was like, nah, like, who are you? He rattled you, mate. He rattled me. I was like, what are you doing? Just relax.
Another manager, like, obviously, bum of the week. We're finishing on that, but I think like we should lightly mention him and finish on that as well. Is Graham Potter? He's gone to West Ham. I don't know what they thought they would. I don't know. They thought he's maybe going to steady the ship, but you know they've drawn 1-1, lost 3. Still not looking fantastic there.
No,
I think they just don't know what their best team is. They've got a squad there, and it's just it's. I don't want to say it's a mess, but it's just not cohesive. I don't think they don't have their.
I think. Do you know what? You've called it a mess, and I'll go as far.
I don't think it's as far as a mess.
No, well, I'm going as far and saying it's a mess. It's a mess. There's a mess of a club. Like, the way I see it is, this is a football club. As far as I'm aware, I've grown up watching one of my best friends, a guy you know really close, guy that was supposed to be here tonight, Luke Tickham. Yeah. Shout out Luke. Yeah. But like, the way I see it, and I always say it to him, I'm just like, this guy. We talk about David Moyes, and you got him. He took it home, and they bought you a European trophy, and you will call it. Yeah. And he does in the group chat, and he calls it a European trophy, and I'm just like,
it's the third best. But
do you know what I mean?
Still a European,
yeah. And he gets on at Arsenal because all right, and I'm like, but back to the point about West Ham.
Their skipper left them to say that he wanted to win trophies. I keep hearing it from him. But then this is why we need to win something.
But back to the point, I'm just like, this guy bought you a trophy, and let's like make like no excuses. You treat this guy like dirt. You ran him out of the football club. And David Moyes, I'm talking about, if you don't know. And then they brought in Lopetegui, and then they got rid of him quick. And then they brought in Potter, which, to be honest, I think
it probably should have been Potter from
it's not a bad
summer.
Yeah, it's not a bad sign in terms of like manager to bring it in. But I just think, how can you do that to David Moyes? Yeah. And now you've seen what Moyes is doing with Everton. And last time I checked, Luke Tickham, any other West Ham fan, I'm talking to you right now, Everton are above you. Like, so I'm just thinking, what kind of a football club are you?
Exactly.
Like, how can a football club run somebody out of a football club? Yeah. Sack him off, and then it's just wild. I'm just like, what are you doing?
West Ham are 16th in the league on 27 points.
Football club, mate.
And Everton are 14th on 30 points.
Wow.
So Moyes is having the last laugh, but
hopefully, and and do you know what, Mars? I hope they finish above West Ham, and then we can get Titty, any other West Ham fan we know. We'll probably be scrambling around because there's not many of them around.
They'll all go into their shells.
I'm just like,
you know, he's not bum of the week for either of us, but we had to mention him as well. But he's very close. We'll see whether he maybe gets on there next week because West Ham don't look very convincing right now. But thank you very much for jumping on another episode.
My pleasure, man.
Good to have you on.
Thank you, my brother.
Take care.
Thank you, man.
If you come on again before the end of the season, that would be interesting. That'd be good. Maybe your boys will be a little bit higher.
Try and get Titty on next time, man.
Try and get Titty on as well.
Try and get Titty on.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
All right, boys.